misery have been dumped out of Europe by Slavia Prague. Just one change though from the team who beat Villa 2-1 last time away from home in the Premier League, with Iheanacho in for the injured Maddison. For Mikel Arteta, they gained a morale-boosting victory in midweek over Benfica, but make 5 changes from the team who lost 1-0 at home to Man City in the Premier League last time, with Holding, Bellerin, Saka, Odegaard and Aubameyang, replaced by Lacazette, Willian, Smith Rowe, Luis and Suarez. Closing in on kick-off at the King Power Stadium, where Leicester City, Odegaard and Aubameyang, for Brendan replaced by Lacazette. A chance to try and forget the midweek misery have been dumped out of Europe by Slavia Prague. Just one change though from the team who beat Villa 2-1 last time away from home in the Premier League, with Iheanacho in for the injured Maddison. For Mikel Arteta, they gained a morale-boosting victory in midweek over Benfica, but make 5 changes from the team who lost 1-0 at home to Man City in the Premier League last time, with Holding, Bellerin, Saka, Odegaard and Aubameyang, replaced by Lacazette, Willian, Smith Rowe, Luis and Suarez. Closing in on kick-off at the King Power Stadium, where Leicester City take on Arsenal, and for Brendan Rodgers' Foxes, a chance to try and forget the midweek misery have been dumped out of Europe by Slavia Prague. Just one change though from the team who beat Villa 2-1 last time away from home in the Premier League, with Iheanacho in for the injured Maddison. For Mikel Arteta, they gained a morale-boosting victory in midweek over Benfica, but make 5 changes from the team who lost 1-0 at home to Man City in the Premier League last time, with Holding, Bellerin, Saka, Odegaard and Aubameyang, replaced by Lacazette, Willian, Smith Rowe, Luis and Suarez. Closing in on kick-off at the King Power.
Those defeats that they had, Chelsea in the FA Cup would have gone to Wembley in a semi-final, Villa in the League Cup semi-final would have gone to Wembley in a final. Those defeats affected them. They cannot allow disappointment to linger this season.
That's right, because it wasn't just the defeat on Thursday night, it was the way they played as well. It was really disappointing, and they really missed James Maddison. We know that's going to be a big miss for them. They tried to bring in another number 10 in January. Christian Eriksen was a name that they were trying to bring in, but they just couldn't make it work financially from Inter. It was never going to happen, so they haven't got anyone to replace him. They tried Yuri Tillemans in that role on Thursday. It didn't work. So today, Kelechi Iheanacho gets an opportunity. For me, he's more of a number 9, but I think he will play just behind Jamie Vardy today. But the great news for Leicester is that Harvey Barnes starts, Timothy Castagne starts, and Ricardo Pereira all start. So they're back in the starting 11. That will make such a big difference, particularly Harvey Barnes, who's been superb this season.
John, thank you very much. So John Bennett will keep us up to date with that big game at the King Power, Leicester versus Arsenal, during our first commentary of the afternoon at noon, which is Crystal Palace against Fulham. At 2 o'clock in full, we'll bring you Tottenham against
Smith Rowe,
Burnley.
Luis and Suarez. Closing in on kick-off at the King Power Stadium, where Leicester City take on Arsenal, and for Brendan Rodgers' Foxes, a chance to try and forget the midweek misery have been dumped out of Europe by Slavia Prague. Just one change though from the team who beat Villa 2-1 last time away from home in the Premier League, with Iheanacho in for the injured Maddison. For Mikel Arteta, they gained a morale-boosting victory in midweek over Benfica, but make 5 changes from the team who lost 1-0 at home to Man City in the Premier League last time, with Holding, Bellerin, Saka, Odegaard and Aubameyang, replaced by Lacazette, Willian, Smith Rowe, Luis and Suarez. Closing in on kick-off at the King Power Stadium, where Leicester City take on Arsenal, and for Brendan Rodgers' Foxes, a chance to try and forget the midweek misery have been dumped out of Europe by Slavia Prague. Just one change though from the team who beat Villa 2-1 last time away from home in the Premier League, with Iheanacho in for the injured Maddison. For Mikel Arteta, they gained a morale-boosting victory in midweek over Benfica, but make 5 changes from the team who lost 1-0 at home to Man City in the Premier League last time, with Holding, Bellerin, Saka, Odegaard and Aubameyang, replaced by Lacazette, Willian, Smith Rowe, Luis and Suarez.
Having that at the end of the day for Arsenal, as brutal as it sounds, the Europa is the most important competition at this moment. So why would you risk them after that heavy period getting injured when you've got a squad? And as Mikel Arteta will say, I believe in my squad. Well, if you do, make the changes. But I can understand why the fans might be frustrated. But the reality is, Europa is probably more important for them to try and get into Champions League and win a trophy at the moment.
From the Leicester perspective, John, I mean, you go back to last season, they twice missed out in cup competitions in big games, and there is no doubt that those defeats that they had, Chelsea in the FA Cup would have gone to Wembley in a semi-final, Villa in the League Cup semi-final would have gone to Wembley in a final. Those defeats affected them. They cannot allow disappointment to linger this season.
That's right, because it wasn't just the defeat on Thursday night, it was the way they played as well. It was really disappointing, and they really missed James Maddison. We know that's going to be a big miss for them. They tried to bring in another number 10 in January. Christian Eriksen was a name that they were trying to bring in, but they just couldn't make it work financially from Inter. It was never going to happen, so they haven't got anyone to replace him. They tried Yuri Tillemans in that role on Thursday. It didn't work. So today, Kelechi Iheanacho gets an opportunity. For me, he's more of a number 9, but I think he will play just behind Jamie Vardy today. But the great news for Leicester is that Harvey Barnes starts, Timothy Castagne starts, and Ricardo Pereira all start. So they're back in the starting 11. That will make such a big difference, particularly Harvey Barnes, who's been superb this season.
John, thank you very much. So John Bennett will keep us up to date with that big game at the King Power, Leicester versus Arsenal, during our first commentary of the afternoon at noon, which is Crystal Palace against Fulham. At 2 o'clock in full, we'll bring you Tottenham against Burnley. So later we'll have Clinton Morrison and Alistair Bruce Ball. They will be our commentary team there. Karen Carney and Seb Hutchinson are with us. Really interesting quotes, Karen, from Jose Mourinho in his press conference. Dele Alli is back to his best, quote. Gareth Bale is the happiest he's been, quote. He never says anything for no reason, does he? So if they don't start, I can't imagine what Spurs fans will be feeling like.
I know, you talk about other managers keeping you guessing. Jose Mourinho is the absolute, he's a pro at it, isn't he? You know, saying comments, and there's always a reason behind it, especially to the press and to the media. But you know, I think that I think Gareth Bale in particular, he has really turned a corner, and I think for him it's always been about getting games and minutes, and he needed like a run of 6 to 7 games to really find his form, but he had knocks and a few niggles, and it's difficult when he was in and out of the team. Now he's coming in and he's really, I feel like he's getting sharp. He made a big difference. I felt West Ham when he came on that last little period, and we know what Dele Alli's like. We saw him in Europe, you know, with that fantastic overhead kick. It's those two players now need to step up, because the Tottenham form hasn't been particularly great, as we know, so they need to step up. And I think if you look at that attacking line, you're like, wow, you know, Son, Bale, Kane, Ali, what a force that is. And you can play all 4 of them, you really can, and any defenders would hate to play against that when they're all fit and firing, which I think they are.
I suppose the problem is Jose won't do that, will he?
Well,
Rodgers' Fox is a chance to try and forget the midweek misery of being dumped out of Europe by Slavia Prague. Just one change though from the team who beat Villa 2-1 last time away from home in the Premier League, with Iheanacho in for the injured Maddison. For Mikel Arteta, they gained a morale-boosting victory in midweek over Benfica, but make 5 changes from the team who lost 1-0 at home to Man City in the Premier League last time, with Holding, Bellerin, Saka, Odegaard and Aubameyang, replaced by Lacazette, Willian, Smith Rowe, Luis and Suarez. Close again on kick-off at the King Power Stadium, where Leicester City take on Arsenal, and for Brendan Rodgers' Foxes, a chance to try and forget the midweek misery of being dumped out of Europe by Slavia Prague. Just one change though from the team who beat Villa 2-1 last time away from home in the Premier League, with Iheanacho in for the injured Maddison. For Mikel Arteta, they gained a morale-boosting victory in midweek over Benfica, but make 5 changes from the team who lost 1-0 at home to Man City in the Premier League last time, with Holding, Bellerin, Saka, Odegaard and Aubameyang, replaced by Lacazette, Willian, Smith Rowe, Luis and Suarez. Close again on kick-off at the King. League with Iheanacho in for the injured Maddison. For Mikel Arteta, they gained a morale-boosting victory in midweek over Benfica, but make 5 changes from the team who lost 1-0 at home to Man City in the Premier League last time, with Holding, Bellerin, Saka, Odegaard and Aubameyang, replaced by Lacazette, Willian, Smith Rowe, Luis and Suarez. Close again on kick-off at the King Power Stadium, where Leicester City take on Arsenal, and for Brendan Rodgers' Foxes, a chance to try and forget the midweek misery of being dumped out of Europe by Slavia Prague. Just one change though from the team who beat Villa 2-1 last time away from home in the Premier League, with Ian Atcher in for the injured Maddison. For Mikel Arteta, they gained a morale-boosting victory in midweek over Benfica, but make 5 changes from the team who lost 1-0 at home to Man City in the Premier League last time, with Holding, Bellerin, Saka, Odegaard and Aubameyang, replaced by Lacazette, Willian, Smith Rowe, Luis and Suarez. Close again on kick-off at the King Power Stadium, where Leicester City take on Arsenal, and for Brendan Rodgers' Foxes, a chance to...
You might have to, Karen, because they can't rely on that defence, can they?
Well, no, and sometimes the best form of defence is attack. And you might as well go, well, let's just keep it in the opponent's other half and keep it away from our defence. And sometimes being attacking minded, front footed and pushing the opposition back means you actually don't have to defend that much, but it relies on pressing and fitness. And I don't think Spurs have been pressing to the intensity that they used to under Pochettino, which was quite a while ago now. But I think you've got to change it up, and actually Spurs have got nothing to lose in the form that they've been in.
Do we think, Seb, that Burnley are clear of this picture?
For Brendan Rodgers' Foxes, a chance to try and forget the midweek misery of being dumped out of Europe by Slavia Prague. Just one change though from the team who beat Villa 2-1 last time away from home in the Premier League, with Ian Atcher in for the injured Maddison. For Mikel Arteta, they gained a morale-boosting victory in midweek over Benfica, but make 5 changes from the team who lost 1-0 at home to Man City in the Premier League last time, with Holding, Bellerin, Saka, Odegaard and Aubameyang, replaced by Lacazette, Willian, Smith Rowe, Luis and Suarez. Close again on kick-off at the King Power Stadium, where Leicester City take on Arsenal, and for Brendan Rodgers' Foxes, a chance to try and forget the midweek misery of being dumped out of Europe by Slavia Prague. Just one change though from the team who beat Villa 2-1 last time away from home in the Premier League, with Ian Atcher in for the injured Maddison. For Mikel Arteta, they gained a morale-boosting victory in midweek over Benfica, but make 5 changes from the team who lost 1-0 at home to Man City in the Premier League last time, with Holding, Bellerin, Saka, Odegaard and Aubameyang, replaced by Lacazette, Willian, Smith Rowe, Luis and Suarez. Close again on kick-off at the King Power Stadium, where Leicester City take on Arsenal, and for Brendan Rodgers' Foxes, a chance to try and forget the midweek misery of being dumped out of Europe by Slavia Prague. Just one change though from the team who beat Villa 2-1 last time away from home in the Premier League, with Ian Atcher in for the injured Maddison. For Mikel Arteta, they gained a morale-boosting victory in midweek over Benfica, but make 5 changes from the team who lost 1-0 at home to Man City in the Premier League last time, with Holding, Bellerin, Saka, Odegaard and Aubameyang, replaced by Lacazette, Willian, Smith Rowe, Luis and Suarez.
Well, join us as the players are taking a knee. We're about to get the game kicked off in beautiful sunshine in the East Midlands, and well, had there been a crowd in, I think they'd be faintly subdued after what was a really poor performance in midweek by Leicester. Made Slavia Prague look like world beaters, and although the Czech champions I thought were good, I thought a lot of it was down to the fact that Brendan Rodgers got it wrong. I personally put the blame on him for a meek performance. Came out belt and braces with a team that had 3 holding midfielders. I felt sorry for Hamza Chowdhury, who sort of paid the price, but asked him to go and get a bit further up the field. Not his game at all, and he looked like a square peg in a round hole. Anyway, it wasn't just that. The fact was he played Amati as a right back, so instead of having either Ricardo or Castagna, there was no goal forward on that right hand side. Amati's a good player, isn't he? Don't get me wrong, but he's no barnstorming fullback, is he? Anyway, and of course what happened was a 2-0 defeat and knocked out of Europe, and I don't see how that helps. Now they've got to come back and do it all again and again. You know, there's one change from the team who beat Villa last time, but not too many changes from the team who played in midweek, really, although Castagna and Pereira are dragged back in, aren't they? Fletcher Iheanacho, who wasn't available in midweek, starts. So that is some good news. But I have a feeling Just the ball goes back to Bernd Leno, clears his lines. I have a fancy for Arsenal today. I think they're able to keep their team fresh. Of course, they tasted victory midweek over Benfica and, you know, kept their European dreams alive. And I think today that they'll just be, you know, a bit fresher, really. They made 5 changes from a team who lost, beaten by Man City last time. There's no shame in that. Out go Holding, Bellerin, Saka, Odegaard and Aubameyang. From that team, in come Lacazette, Willian, Smith Rowe, David Luiz and Cedric Suarez. But I feel that ability to keep a good squad rotated. Certainly when you come to playing games in midweek and then you're back to the weekend, I just think it helps you out. Here then, Arsenal on the ball. Granit Xhaka plays the ball behind the Ivorian, Pepe, who keeps it in at the expense of handing it on a plate to Harvey Barnes, who can't quite make progress. So I would be thinking 2-1, something like that, Arsenal today. Anyway, that's my thought. Obviously the Foxes could bounce back, and they've shown that ability under Brendan Rodgers all, you know, well, for quite some time now, even before Brendan got there. It's a good squad of players who, you know, who should be proud of what they've achieved and have done well to get so far. And of course, in Premier League table, you know, they're not exactly sat pretty, but they're looking good for Europe, aren't they? And you know, if they can keep on going, have a strong end to the season, why not Champions League? They're in second place as it stands, although they've a game more than Man United. Obviously West Ham were beaten yesterday, and then Chelsea have been a bit up and down. Liverpool are not quite the same animal as last year, so lots of reasons why Leicester can make Champions League. But I just have a feeling that the disappointment midweek might just bleed into this game. Anyway, 4 minutes in, and they're yet really to get on the ball. Another weak point I thought was the left back Luke Thomas in midweek. Don't want to single him out when lots of players seemingly were failing, but I didn't think that he was as strong as they might have liked. Obviously Christian Fuchs was on the bench, but the youngster is preferred to him. And James Justin has been out injured as well. And we'll take a quick look to the benches for the two respective teams today. For Leicester, it's all Brighton, who started in midweek, then Ward, Amati, Under, who started as well, Chowdhury, Mendy, Fuchs, Daly Campbell and Tavares, who came on. We didn't see much of him in midweek. Sidney Tavares, but by all accounts, he's a very good player, and he looked pretty good, I'd have to say. For the Gunners on the bench, Bellerin, Saka, Ceballos, Odegaard, Aubameyang, Holding, Partey, Ryan and Martinelli. Quite a large amount of money paid for Thomas Partey. I'm sure he'll play his part eventually for Mikel Arteta. They're 4-2-3-1 today, and it's been a quiet start to the game, really. The King Power, Kasper Schmeichel picking the ball up there. He's in shadow at the minute. Tielemans is forced to go back to his keeper, who chips the ball out to the flank. Thomas heads it forward. Barnes can't bring it under control, and then the ball is held up by Smith Rowe, the 20-year-old, as Arsenal try and come forward. Lacazette on the half turn, but he can't make that stick. And then a long ball forward looking for Iheanacho, passes him by, and David Luiz picks it up. David Luiz very combative. I do like him, but always feel that there's a mistake in him, and maybe it could be Jamie Vardy's day, as Tielemans picks a good ball up. Vardy now running into space in the middle. Tielemans though takes the ball up and backed off, and what you're going to get there is an easy goal for Yuri Tielemans. And yeah, that was too simple, really. Vardy taking players away, causing consternation, but Tielemans inside right, just driving on in there, got his shot away. And whose fault is that? Well, in the end, Xhaka doesn't lay a glove on him. They all stand off him. Is anybody going to land a blow on Tielemans? Nobody. and he's allowed a strike right across Leno and into the back of the net. It's a brilliant start for Leicester, just the buzz that they need to forget that midweek awful showing. But what a simple goal that was. The King Power Stadium, just after I'd been just break off there for a second, as just thought for a second there, was looking at a replay. I thought, oh, there's no VAR. That, oh, Leno gives the ball away to Vardy, and he just couldn't take advantage. Nearly 2-0 right there. Oh dearie me, what's happening? Well, Arsenal then an appetite for their own destruction at the minute. At the King Power Stadium, we've had the first goal. It's Leicester 1, Arsenal 0. Leicester were terrible in midweek, but been invited into the party. A simple opportunity for them. Yuri Tielemans picked up the ball on the right hand side, just over the halfway line. Nobody was with him. Granit Xhaka couldn't get back at him. I don't know where Kieran Tierney had gone. He drove and drove and drove. Nobody landed a glove, and in the end up his right foot drive across Bernd Leno found itself in the side netting, in the back of the net, for a 1-0 lead for the Foxes. So yeah, great start for them. I'll be thrilled with that. Corner kick now for Arsenal, headed away by Vardy. So yeah, bigging up the Gunners, but you know, it's alright me espousing sort of formulae for why I think this and that's going to happen, but the players 11 against 11 have to go out. For Leicester, it was always a case of putting a performance that makes us forget how poor you were in the midweek, as we just see Tierney lay a ball into the box, but not close enough to Lacazette. And in the end, Arsenal able to get back on with El Neni, and the ball out to Suarez, and then down the line Pepe. Well, a lot of digging out then for the Gunners to do, but plenty of time to do it for the neutral. Brilliant start. It just wakes the game up really. Hardly 6 minutes gone, and a goal already. And in the end, you won't score too many easier than that. I mean, honestly, all opened up in front of him, and just able to run, have a strike at leisure, and it was a good hit as well, past Leno. He's still quite a lot to do when he breaks into the box, but like I said, under no pressure, and found a fairly comfortable finish. Plenty of 12 o'clock kickoffs throughout Europe, and certainly in this country, plenty. As Tierney tries to get on his bike there. Elsewhere, Palace 0, Fulham 0. In the Championship, Wickham 0, Norwich 0. In France, Liga, Monaco 0, Brest 0. In Italy, 40 minutes gone, Sampdoria 0, Atalanta 0. Atalanta, of course, played in midweek. In the Netherlands, it's half-time, Sparta Rotterdam 0, Willem II 0. That's about it as far as Europe is concerned, with the earlier kickoffs. Not exactly being dragged out of bed, is it, for 12 o'clock? As we look at Tielemans' goal again, just too easy that, honestly, and a little smile for him. But what we didn't see after that was Leno gave the ball away to Vardy, but he just couldn't quite take advantage. It was nearly number 2. Right then, so I was quite sweet on Arsenal today, but got to be less sweet when they've gone 1-0 down. But I said 2-1, so I think I'll stick with that. And can Arsenal now have a little bit of the ball? Lacazette tries to wriggle through at the edge of the area, does just that. Ball laid back for El Neni, sweeps it to Smith Rowe. Ball now with Tierney, just at the edge of the box now, and looking for an opportunity, but he's well marshalled there. Ball goes back. Arsenal in a white strip today, white shirts and socks with red shorts. Anyway, just Soinchu clearing his lines there, but it will be a throw for the Gunners. Tierney will take it left hand side, and just gets the ball tickled back to him. by Smith Rowe. Ball goes back for Xhaka. And then Pablo Mari, the Spaniard. He's had an interesting career. Played in Catalonia, was on Man City's books at one point. Has played in Eredivisie for Breda. And also played in Brazil. Looks like there might be a penalty here. And, well, Tielemans may well be the guilty party. And our referee Paul Tierney's pointed to the spot. VAR's going to take a second look, I'm pretty sure about that. But it looked like Pepe, the man who just was upended, just inside the area. Let's take another look at it. He plays a return pass. Was it Ndidi? Was it Tielemans? Let's take another look. It's not entirely certain. But Tielemans, I think it was. Outstretched leg, didn't get to him. And it's going to be a penalty kick, I feel. So Tielemans disappointed. Well, we're still waiting for VAR to give us the concrete decision on this one. VAR's taking a look. Did he get to the ball? He didn't. I feel like there may necessarily not be that much contact, but does Pepe really have to hurdle a leg while he's inside the box? Is he caught behind by Ndidi? Is he inside the box or out? They're looking for the definitive touch. I don't think there was. It might be. Ooh, it might be a tough one. This. Again, what I would say is there doesn't necessarily have to be contact. You shouldn't have to hurdle challengers to get in the box. But of course, it's obviously more demonstrative when there's proper contact. I don't think, looking at it again, I think they may let it off for a lack of contact there. But like I said, the argument for the Arsenal point of view would be, look, you don't have to hurdle a challenge in the box. When that challenger's not got the ball, he's being impeded in there. It's a tough one. It's a tough one, all right. And they might well toss a coin over this. But anyway, looks like the camera just lingered on Ndidi, and I think what they're doing is giving it as a first foul just outside the box. Now, I'm not entirely certain about that, but there we go. They've had a good long look at it, and you'd have to say that decision no penalty, foul outside the area by Ndidi. Well, there you go. Obviously what Tielemans did or didn't do caught the eye, but anyway, he gave a penalty, and now he's had to take that back, but that's what VAR is there for. And it's a free kick just outside now. So Pepe and Willian stood over the ball. They put the ball down. Plenty in the box, including Pablo Mari, 6'4". He may be the monster in there for them. Ball fizzed in, and that's headed away under pressure by Luke Thomas at his near post for a corner. So I thought it was a penalty, but it wasn't, and that's what VAR is all about. I did just wonder, there were lots of ifs and buts about that penalty shout. Anyway, corner kick, and again Pablo Mari in there, David Luiz in there. The ball comes in, headed up in the air by Ndidi, and then Thomas eventually clears away. Iheanacho controls it, he does really well, and then lays the ball off to Tielemans, who one way or another has been involved quite a fair amount in this game. Ball with Leno, and then David Luiz gets it out of his feet to Tierney, his former club Celtic, in a little bit of upheaval, aren't they, with their new manager? Well, they won at this weekend. Neil Lennon had resigned. Probably the right thing for him to do. Anyway, they'll look back at Lennon as a proper Celtic hero. And certainly Tierney outstanding in that team, but not really able to make his mark on the Premier League just yet. Been robbed of that chance by injuries. Anyway, Arsenal trying to get forward down the right hand side with Pepe. But the ball now into Smith Rowe. Just controls it, and they're trying to make ground with Suarez. He's stopped in his tracks, and now Barnes finds it. Tielemans. He tried to drag the ball away, though, from David Luiz. He's caught, but there's no free kick there, and Arsenal have the ball. with Xhaka, puts his foot on it, and looking for just a little bit more movement than he got there. Anyway, the ball with David Luiz, passes it forward, ball laid back, and then a little fight in their hands. El Neni able to straighten up, ball goes with Suarez, and he goes back to David Luiz. Arsenal, well, they play keep ball under Arteta. Sometimes they're quite dull to watch, I think. Anyway, ball for Willian, laid back to Xhaka, asking for a little bit more movement around him. Pablo Mari, like I said, he played his football in Rio de Janeiro for a while with Flamengo, and here is Willian now, who's playing it round the corner, looking for Tini, puts him inside the box, and in the end, looks like a good double kiss there. Castagna getting back with him. He should have been able to clip it over the legs of the fullback trying to block. It's a great ball by Willian to find Tierney, and he's just trying to cut that ball back too hard. And if you're doing that, then Castagna was able just to get back to him, as the ball with Castagna now dotted back to Johnny Evans, and then into midfield for Tielemans, who well, he tries to play around the corner for Castagna, but it's a poor ball that, and Arsenal will have it back. At the King Power Stadium, plenty of drama. We had the early goal from Tielemans, and we had a penalty shout for Arsenal. It looked like Paul Tierney, the referee, wanted to give it. VAR ruled it out. It looked as if Tielemans had brought down Pepe in the box, but VAR discovered that indeed he'd got there first, and just fouled him outside the box, so nothing doing there. Arsenal dominating possession, but so far Kasper Schmeichel has had nothing to do. So that's why it remains 1-0 to Leicester City, and so far they've taken advantage of sloppy defending for the Gunners. Don't know where Tierney was when Tielemans broke forward on the right hand side. Xhaka couldn't get to him. I don't know whether it should be Pablo Mari or David Luiz coming out to challenge him, but neither did. And in the end, I mean, a lot of that goes down to Vardy taking players away. I thought he did a really good job there. You know, they're the hard yards often, aren't they? But you know what? If he gets in the eye line of one centre back and then drags him toward the other and takes players away from the onrushing Tielemans, then it plays a big part in the fact that he has had a shot on target when, you know, nobody getting in his way. He could pick his spot, and he did. Absolutely, he did. Anyway, that's the way the game has gone so far. 1-0 to Leicester, and yeah, quite an interesting game so far. Obviously had that penalty shout gone on another day, of course. You know, without VAR, it is just a penalty, and the referee points the spot. That's that. But anyway, nowadays we've got that, like it or not, and in fact you've got to like that, because I think, you know, they got the decision right in the end, didn't they? You know, difficult for Paul Tierney, and you could have forgiven him for thinking it was a penalty, because in my head, you know, you hear the voices, don't you? Sometimes I could take tablets for that, but you know, in my head, my inner monologue, it was screaming penalty, and I just thought, all right, well, you know, it definitely is. He's inside the box. Shot comes in from Barnes, and that's just pushed away by Leno. It's a good shot, that, and a lot of action on the ball. A lot of right foot side on that, and he swerved in front of Leno, just pushed it back. He kept it out, Leno, but he looked far from comfortable. Well, in terms of what's behind Bernd Leno, they do have Matt Ryan, don't they, on the bench, I think. So, you know, I think he'd have to play a little bit better than we've seen. He didn't do much with the goal. I mean, really, Tielemans is at an angle where you'd like to think your keeper could get a save in, but anyway, it didn't happen, did it? Here, Arsenal on the ball. El Neni, Lacazette now just trying to flick it out with his feet, looking for Pepe. Tries to spin it round the corner for Willian. Evans will be able to clear his line, just clips it to Castagna. and he can go further. Iheanacho playing down the line, and Vardy won't get there though, and the ball eventually got to be dealt with by Johnny Evans, who holds off Lacazette and looks up. It's a poor out ball from him. Ball now over the head of El Neni, but Arsenal win it back high up the field. Granit Xhaka now lays it back to Tierney, and he's just in a bit of shade this near side, a bit of sunshine as you go further into the pitch. Beautiful day for it. Shadow on the near side, and out to the left where Kasper Schmeichel, and he's in his goal, and the rest of the pitch wreathed in glorious sunshine. It's a poor ball from Xhaka this time. So camera lingers on Harvey Barnes. I'm sure they're just going to show his strike again. Just a couple of minutes ago, ball moved this way and that for him. How did he hit it? Yeah, he got a lot of slice on the ball, and Leno's got the sun in his eyes. They don't wear caps anymore, do they, these goalkeepers, and particularly these early kick-offs, you know, quite where the sun is here. Well, I can tell you he's right in his face, right in Bernd Leno's face, but he's not wearing a cap or anything like it. Halfway through the first half then, Leicester 1, Arsenal 0, been a decent game so far. In and around Europe, the only other goal is for Atlanta at Sampdoria at half time. I think they were disappointed in their midweek, weren't they, Atalanta? Anyway, you're trying to keep up with things, don't you? How football's going through Europe and all that. Hard to work it out sometimes. Anyway, in our game, as far as the match stats, about 70% possession for Arsenal, who yet to register a shot. 2 shots, and both have been on target for Leicester. One's the goal and one's that Barnes effort. As this next delivery of a good ball forward, Lacazette spins it to the Ivorian Pepe. Arsenal recycling the ball in the box. Willian just laying it back to Xhaka. They played in and then out of the box, and just need to do a little bit better. Seen plenty of the ball though, as now Pablo Mari steps up, and he finds that Willian gets it out of his feet. David Luiz, a good pass of the ball. You don't want to give him too much time, but he now drives forward, the Brazilian. Players run away from him and then back to him, and then there's a foul on Pepe, and it will be a free kick. Luke Thomas just dragged into that. And elsewhere, of course, Crystal Palace taking on Fulham. It's a game really that Fulham need to win, don't they? You know, they need to drag Newcastle and Brighton into that trapdoor fight. And Palace themselves, although they're on 33 points, have typically showing odd form, and typically in that game Fulham dominate possession, but not doing an awful lot by the looks of it. The free kick now though for Arsenal. Pepe and Willian stood over it. Pablo Mari, Smith Rowe, Xhaka, David Luiz all in the box with Lacazette. The ball comes in, punch out by Schmeichel, does enough there. Iheanacho just jabs that one to Vardy, who twists and turns and then gets the ball down the line, but this should be comfortable for Leno. Controls it, finds El Neni. Now we're playing out from the back. Suarez, little Cruyff turn to buy him some time. Good ball down the line for Willian. Clips it into midfield for Xhaka. Good football this by the Gunners. Tierney now driving forward, taking on Castagna, going to drive him into the box, gets a good cutback. There's an opportunity. Was there a handball in there by Thomas? Don't think so, or at least VAR not suggesting that, but good work there by Tierney, a good cutback, and in the end nobody could quite apply the finish. I think Lacazette going for it, so yeah, that's as close as they've got. Good ball across the face there, as Pepe now steers it round the corner. Suarez steps back on his inner. Smith Rowe is there, gets it out of his feet, looking for the give and go, gets the ball back now, driving toward the edge of the area. A little lay back by Willian. Now Xhaka drives the ball in again, is shot on the turn from Willian, and left foot shot dragged wide, but yeah, it's good football by Arsenal, it really is. Popping the ball around very smartly there. And Xhaka finding Willian, who takes it on. Should have done better, really. I mean, I thought he had a bit more time to steady himself. And we're looking at Pepe's shot blocked by Thomas. Yeah, much better. And but it's no good being better. They need to grab a goal back. They're already a goal down. You know, we all know that Leicester can play well counter-attack. Jamie Vardy's the king of that, isn't he? Had a quiet game in midweek. Probably because the setup of the team just didn't lend itself to him playing well. Also because he had a really good young 21-year-old centre-back called David Zima, who I thought played well and played with great pace about his game as well, and certainly helped keep Vardy quiet. Here an opportunity for Ricardo. Into the box he goes. Little cut back there, but David Luiz gets goal side of Vardy and blocks away. And then Willian bundles that ball out. So yeah, been an interesting first half of football for the neutral. Not bad at all. Some good stuff and a real clash of styles. Arsenal keep ball a little bit more, don't they? And for Leicester, a bit more dynamic when they have it. And then he now sweeps the ball out to Suarez. Puts his head down over the halfway line now as Leicester and Ndidi come to greet him. He looks for Pepe. Pepe is fouled by Luke Thomas. And not his first there. And Tierney's having a word with him. He may well show him a card. He might just mark his card and say, right, any more of that. But he gets sucked in and he drags him down to the ground there. And really it should be a card. Anyway, it's not quite a rugby tackle, and that's probably why Tierney's having a word. But he's beaten there by quick feet from the Ivorian, Nicolas Pepe. Signed for too much money, wasn't he? But he still could be a key cog for the Gunners if he gets his head down and plays a bit. There's plenty of promise from him. We haven't seen much end product. Not enough. Anyway, Willian now with the ball, long ball over the head of Xhaka, picked up by Tierney at the edge of the area. Wasn't a great free kick. Ball goes backwards. Still a loaded box. And Smith Rowe now on the ball. Still a loaded box. And can they get the ball in this time? Willian plays down the flank. And Pepe now puts the cross in. Up go the heads. It's headed away by Ndidi. Ball breaks the edge of the area for Tierney. Arsenal still attacking. And then his thumped shot comes off the back of Tielemans. And that will be a corner kick. That ballooned over the frame of the goal there. Corner kick then for Arsenal, who are laying a bit of a siege to this Leicester City goal. The way it's going, you wouldn't back against them getting an equaliser. So an early goal from Yuri Tielemans, just 6 minutes on the clock before that went in. That certainly settled the nerves for the home side, who were poor in midweek. Anyway, Willian with the ball across the face, picked up then by David Luiz. His attempted cross blocked by Thomas. So another corner kick then. Like we said, a spell of pressure. Leicester having to try and withstand that. They're pretty good at set piece though, aren't they? Between Soinchu and Johnny Evans. Bit of height in there, and Ndidi. You know, not a small team. Anyway, corner kick comes in, up go the heads. Graces off there to David Luiz through the box to Tierney. There's a player down, holding his head, so play will stop. Johnny Evans just coming a cropper there, but he got to stop it to Tierney. Arsenal not happy about that. I mean, how do you give the ball back to him in a dangerous area? You know, they're going to roll the ball back to Arsenal just outside the box. You know, let's see what happened to Evans anyway. Well, it was Xhaka, and I don't really see. There's not enough there for Johnny Evans to go down like that. It's not apparent anyway. Off time Xhaka, the enfant terrible. I think maybe got an elbow in the shoulder or something like that. Didn't seem that obvious. Anyway, we'll have a little bit of a recap of the last 10 minutes. the King Power Stadium. They're a goal down, but Arsenal laying siege to Kasper Schmeichel's goal. Haven't really turned it into too many opportunities, but we saw a good cutback from Kieran Tierney that found the Ivorian Nicolas Pepe. His shot was blocked away by Luke Thomas. We saw Willian just at the edge of the area taking the first time shot on, dragged wide. The truth is they're playing quite well, the Gunners, but they're really not translating that into shots on target. So need to do a little bit better with their finishing. But all in all, you just get the feeling that they keep playing like this, that something will work out for them. I said I fancied him right from the get-go today, and the goal has sort of come against the run of play, really. But that being said, like we said, Leicester more dynamic, will play a different style. You would expect Arsenal to actually be on the ball that bit more anyway. So I'm not surprised about the way the game's panning out. As we said at the minute, all the possession in the world for Arsenal is not adding up to Hill of Beans or efforts on goal. Here they come again though, El Neni and Lacazette. Was he fouled at the edge of the box? He picks himself back up, and Arsenal can come again down the right hand side. Maybe a chance for Suarez to get the ball in. Ball comes deep, and Schmeichel can come out under a bit of pressure from Lacazette. He does well. So I think there needed to be a slightly better ball on that. Gunners are on top then, but can they translate it into efforts at goal? We just saw a sloppy ball in really from Cedric Suarez, and in the end nothing doing. But I think that there seems to be a bit more energy about the Gunners in this game. Like we said, a lot to do with that is the fact that maybe they've got a deeper squad, or maybe Arteta just trusts his players a little bit more. I felt that Leicester in midweek robbed themselves of a chance of going through in Europe by not starting with Barnes, by not taking the game by the scruff of the neck and saying let's attack them. Felt that Brendan Rodgers could have done a much better job really, and instead his team was very belt and braces. It allowed Slavia Prague to get their 4-1-4-1 formation going. I'll tell you who I was impressed with. They got a young Senegalese, Slavia Prague, called Sima, 19 years of age. He scored the second goal, which was a fantastic goal. But you know what, he's a good player, I think, and I don't think he cost too much. Don't forget, last two players who came from Slavia Prague into the Premier League are both at West Ham, both playing ever so well. Souček, for me, probably pound for pound, is one of the best signings that's ever been in the Premier League. And the right back at West Ham as well, Vladimir Koufal, is a good player. So, I doubt that the Czech club could keep hold of Sima, but I think he'd be a good signing for whichever Premier League outfit wanted him, really. Anyway, here's Castagna now, who is another good player for Leicester, isn't he? And should have started in midweek. Either him or Ricardo, both tremendous players. We see a shot on target, but this time the effort from Iheanacho from a long way out is easily held on to by Leno. So it was something. I've seen Iheanacho play well for Leicester, not too often, and difficult being an understudy to Vardy. If Maddison was fit, he'd be playing, wouldn't he? And I think Iheanacho would be on the bench, as Sancho there has fouled Pepe. Again, Pepe's first touch too good, and he takes the ball away. Sancho just crunches him, really. It's a tough old league, isn't it? The Premier League. Pepe's shown some really nice touch of class today, but he keeps getting clattered. They're taking it in turns. Sancho and Thomas have all fouled him. Anyway, 36 minutes gone. Leicester 1, Arsenal 0. And in a decent game this. Like we said, there's only one other goal in European football. Atalanta, who are into the second half at Sampdoria, have scored. Arsenal have a free kick now, edge of the area. Willian, the ball into the box. Xhaka heads it back across the face, headed away by Barnes, touched on by Vardy. Iheanacho now on the ball. He's got Ricardo on his left hand side. He's looking for Vardy. No channels. Tierney comes across, reads that like a book. Hard yards for Vardy today. And like I said, he retired from England, didn't he? And I think that was the right thing to do, to give his all for Leicester. You don't necessarily want Vardy playing twice a week, do you? I mean, he's naturally a fit guy, but it's asking a lot, really. You get to a certain age, don't you? And I know that you don't just bounce back from big exertion. Jamie Vardy, he's 34 now, not 24, and asking a lot of him. In fact, maybe he should have been rested for this game with Iheanacho starting, but and again, it's difficult because Iheanacho wasn't available in midweek, so maybe he would have been given a rest. I think, in fairness to Brendan Rodgers, I've sort of monstered him a little bit about what happened in midweek, because they were terrible. But equally, his eggs are all in the basket of the Premier League, and that seems fairly obvious, really. Anyhow, long ball forward, Lacazette. Ball breaks back for Willian, who does well. And now Lacazette feeds the ball out to Pepe. And there's another foul from Thomas, and he's got to get a yellow card this time. How many times do you want to bring him down? Quick feet from Pepe. It's just too good for Luke Thomas out there. He looked a weak link in midweek. Luke Thomas, he looks all right going forward. I think he slipped there, didn't help him, but it's because Pepe, on balance, on the ball, just the way he shifts his body, has been fantastic today. He's shown real quality. First touch, absolutely brilliant from him today. And so 39 minutes gone, Leicester 1, Arsenal 0. Arsenal have been parked, but they haven't been able to land a blow, and from set piece they've been disappointing too. Where's Bolden Adams where you need him? Anyway, Pablo Mari, like I said, 6'4" of him. David Luiz has always been good in the air. Lacazette's in there as well. Anyway, ball eventually flicked in. There's a header. Oh, and it's a header into the back of the net from David Luiz, and they're back on terms. And I dare say that they deserved that. They put the pressure on, and eventually, I think we talked them into it, didn't we? That they've got to go back from a set piece. They've had many of them. Better delivery and good movement there, and a good firm header into the side netting. Didn't give Schmeichel any kind of chance, but there we are, one apiece then. And I think Leicester have just sat back too much, really. Anyway, it was a good ball from Willian. Castagna was asleep. Yeah, I mean, more or less a free header. Tielemans with the first goal had the freedom of the King Power, and this time, well, don't give somebody like David Luiz a run. They're just asleep, and he finds half a yard, and then he's able to attack the ball. It's a good ball in, and that means that we're back to where we started. At the King Power Stadium, it's now Leicester City 1, Arsenal 1. So we're just looking at, just break off a second, because it looks like there may be an injury now to Smith Rowe. He's down. Ooh, let's hope there's nothing too bad there, but it doesn't look good for him. Anyway, we'll give you that update now. At the King Power Stadium, it's Leicester City 1, Arsenal 1, and the Gunners good value for getting a goal back in. They'd laid siege to the Leicester City goal, had lots of set pieces, and we were just talking about Bolden Adams and how somebody needed to step up when David Luiz did. He found half a yard of space, ran away from his mark, which looked like it was Castagna, and he was able to attack a good ball in from Willian, headed past Schmeichel and into the side netting for one apiece. So yeah, good goal that. And yeah, game on. I did say I fancied Arsenal before we got really into it today, and just their ability to keep things fresh. But Leicester grabbed the early goal, and of course make you look like a bit of a nana. I said I fancied Arsenal to win 2-1, and well, they may still be on target for that, but if they're going to do that, it's going to be without Smith Rowe, who has unfortunately been forced off with injury. So that's a massive blow for him. but they have got strength in depth, and with Odegaard coming on, you know, just gives him another opportunity to shine, doesn't it? So yeah, one apiece and game on. And we were just talking about it, weren't we? Set pieces, nothing seemingly working out, and then as if like magic, we probably talked him into that. Commentator's curse, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, we've just seen Martin Odegaard, the Norwegian, on loan from Real Madrid. Come on. He's only 22. One youngster replaces another one. And played 8 times for Real Madrid. And has had loan spells away at Heerenveen, Vitesse, Real Sociedad. And now with Arsenal. And the Norwegian international now regular with 25 games at 22 years of age. That's not too bad, is it? Anyway, I've not seen too much of him. So 43 minutes on the clock then. It's sunny at the King Power. But after a good start, Leicester have been forced back now. A good opportunity to see what they've got. You know, their first goal came too early to tell whether they were really at the races today, and then subsequently they've sat back rather and allowed themselves to be dominated by Arsenal. Now the game's level. I just wonder, are they going to show up a little bit better? Anyway, it looks like they're already in a better shape. Long ball forward, Leno gets it out of his feet, finds Tierney. Tierney clears his lines, and now Vardy keeps the ball alive, looking for Barnes, but that's blocked away by El Neni. Ball now back to Suarez, and it looks like Leicester have gone again now. You know, sat back on 1-0. I think, to be honest, poor teams do that. You know, I think when you're 1-0, you should be looking for your second rather than thinking, oh well, let's keep it tight. You know, they really invited Arsenal onto them there, and after a while, when you've got players like Pepe, you're going to have a winning day. As Willian now runs round to Tielemans. Good ball there now for Odegaard, just at the edge of the box. He now finds Pepe, left foot strike, and the ball will break.